Imagine a place so beautiful it steals your breath away. A meadow where the mountains kiss the sky, where laughter echoes and families find peace. That's Baisaran, the heart of Pahalgam, a paradise in Jammu and Kashmir. But on April 22nd, 2025, that paradise became a battlefield. A terrorist attack tore through this haven, claiming 26 lives, shattering dreams, and leaving a scar on the soul of Kashmir. Yet, in the face of darkness, there's a story of light, a story of courage, resilience, and the unbreakable human spirit. My name is Subhojit Day, and today I'm taking you on a journey. Not just to uncover the chilling details of the Pahalgam attack, how a local teacher turned traitor, how Pakistan's shadows fueled the plot, how a global terror network planned it all, but to show you something bigger. This isn't just about tragedy. It's about the heroes who ran toward danger, the survivors who refused to break, and a nation that stood tall against terror. This is about you and me, about standing up when the world tries to knock us down. Why should you care? Because this story isn't just Kashmir's, it's ours. It's about the fight for peace, the cost of freedom, and the power of truth. In the next 40 minutes, we'll unravel a conspiracy that spans borders, from Pakistan's training camps to Hamas's secret meetings. We'll walk through Baisaran's blood-stained meadow and follow the manhunt for killers still hiding in the shadows. But more than that, we'll discover what it means to rise above fear. I've spent weeks piecing this together. Interviews, reports, whispers from the ground. And let me tell you, it's not just a story, it's a wake-up call. Evil doesn't win when we refuse to let it. The Pony Riders who saved lives, the CRPF teams who fought back, the families who rebuilt, they're proof that courage outshines chaos. And you, watching this, are part of that fight. Your voice, your share, your stand, it matters. So, are you ready? Ready to dive into a tale of terror and triumph? Ready to see how ordinary people become extraordinary in the face of evil? Then don't just watch, join me. Hit that play button, and let's uncover the truth together. Because in Baisaran's darkest hour, we found a light that refuses to fade. This is the Pahalgam story, and it starts now.
A serene meadow nestled in the heart of Jammu and Kashmir, surrounded by towering pines and snow-capped peaks. A place so breathtaking it's called India's mini Switzerland. This is Baisaran, a hidden gem just 5 kilometers uphill from the tourist haven of Pahalgam in Anantnag district. A sprawling 800-meter-long field where families picnic, couples stroll, and tourists lose themselves in nature's embrace. But on April 22, 2025, this paradise turned into a nightmare. A meticulously planned terrorist attack shattered the tranquility, leaving a trail of blood and questions that linger to this day. This isn't just a story of violence. It's a saga of deception, international intrigue, and a shadowy war waged in the mountains. Buckle up, because I'm about to take you deep into the heart of the Pahalgam attack, unraveling its secrets step by step, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single detail. Let's set the stage. Jammu and Kashmir, a region of unparalleled beauty, has long been a battleground. Tucked within its Anantnag district lies Pahalgam, a name synonymous with peace and tourism. But 5 kilometers above Pahalgam, at an elevation of 2,600 meters, lies Baisaran, a meadow so stunning it feels like a slice of the Alps. Tourists trek up rugged paths or ride ponies to reach this spot, where the air is crisp and the views are unforgettable. On April 22, 2025, Baisaran was bustling with visitors. Around 1,000 tickets sold that morning, though by early afternoon only 400 remained. Families laughed, kids ran across the grass, and no one had a clue about the storm about to descend. This wasn't a random act of violence. This was a calculated strike, orchestrated with chilling precision. Multiple terrorist groups, advanced technology, and a network spanning borders came together in a plot so intricate it could rival a Hollywood thriller. To understand how it all unfolded, we need to go back, way back, to a small village called Gur, just outside Pahalgam, where a boy named Adil Hussein Thoker was born in 1992. A boy who, at first glance, seemed destined for an ordinary life but would later become the face of terror in Bizaran. Adil grew up in Gur, a quiet village in Anantnag's Bijbahara block. He was a bright kid, enrolling in Shah Hamdan Public School before moving to Government Higher Secondary School in Bijbahara. By 2018, he'd completed his master's degree from Rahmat Alam College in Anantnag and started teaching. On the surface, Adil was a model citizen, educated, ambitious, and seemingly harmless. But there was a shadow lurking beneath. Locals noticed something peculiar. Whenever a terrorist was killed in the area, Adil was there at the funeral, blending into the crowd, watching silently. No one suspected him of anything serious, not yet. But in April 2018, Adil's life took a dark turn. One day, he told his family he had an exam in Badgam, Kashmir. "I'll be back soon," he said, packing a small bag. His family believed him, waved him off, and waited for his return. Days passed, then weeks. Adil didn't come home. His phone was unreachable and panic set in. On May 2, 2018, his mother, Shahzada Banu, filed a missing person report at the local police station. Little did she know, Adil wasn't missing. He was executing a plan that would change everything. Here's where the suspense deepens. Adil hadn't gone to Badgam. He'd applied for a student visa to Pakistan, claiming he wanted to pursue higher studies. In a matter of weeks, the Pakistani authorities granted it. Armed with a valid passport and visa, Adil crossed the Attariwaga border in May 2018 and vanished into Pakistan. He switched off his phone, cut all ties with his family, and stepped into a world of shadows. His destination? A Lashkar-e-Taiba, Let, training camp in Muzaffarabad, 30 kilometers inside Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, Pak. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. Adil had been planning this for months, and his journey to Pakistan marked the beginning of a chilling transformation. Lashkar-e-Taiba, the militant group behind the 2008 Mumbai attacks and the 2001 Indian Parliament attack, welcomed Adil with open arms. In Muzaffarabad's Sawai Nala camp, he underwent rigorous training, Durari Sufa, Durari Am, Durari Kaz. These were no ordinary boot camps. They taught everything from weapons handling to guerrilla warfare, preparing recruits for high-stakes operations. Adil was being molded into a weapon, and his target would eventually be the very region he called home. But Adil was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. To understand the full scope of the Pahalgam attack, we need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. In June 2018, just a month after Adil's arrival in Pakistan, the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, an international body that monitors terror funding, placed Pakistan on its gray list. This was a major blow. Being gray-listed meant Pakistan's access to loans from the IMF and World Bank was at risk, threatening its already fragile economy. The FATF demanded action. Shut down terror groups like Let, stop their funding, and crack down on their leaders. Pakistan scrambled to comply, at least on paper. They arrested a few low-level operatives, froze some bank accounts, and submitted reports claiming they'd cleaned up their act. But it was all a facade. Behind the scenes, Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence, ISI, and its military were doubling down on their strategy. They saw terrorism not as a crime but as a calculated military doctrine, a way to wage a proxy war against India without direct confrontation. Think of it like a chess game where groups like Let were the pawns and Kashmir was the board. Reports from the United Nations, the US State Department, and independent intelligence firms like the European Foundation for South Asian Studies have long confirmed this. Pakistan's ISI has funneled millions, $125 to $250 million, to be precise, into terror groups, funding salaries, training, and operations. The Congressional Research Services report, R 41832, pages 23 to 24, explicitly states that the ISI provides financial assistance, training, and strategic guidance to anti-India outfits like Let. Even Pakistan's former leaders, like Pervez Musharraf and Nawaz Sharif, have admitted to supporting militants in Kashmir, calling them heroes in public interviews. This brings us to February 14, 2019, when the Pulwama attack rocked India. A suicide bomber killed 40 CRPF personnel, and the evidence pointed straight to Pakistan. India compiled a dossier detailing how 10.43 lakh rupees were funneled into the bomber's account from Pakistan, presenting it to FATF member countries like the US, UK, and France. At the FATF's Paris meeting from February 17th to 22nd, Pakistan received a final warning: clean up or face the blacklist. The pressure was mounting, and Pakistan's terror activities slowed, temporarily. Then came August 5, 2019, a seismic shift in the region. India revoked Article 370, stripping Jammu and Kashmir of its special status and integrating it fully into the Union. This was a game changer, signaling a new era of constitutional unity. For Pakistan, it was a disaster. Their military couldn't respond directly, and with the FATF breathing down their necks, groups like LET and Jaish-e-Mohammed, JEM, were under scrutiny. So, they devised a new plan: rebrand their terror operations to evade international sanctions. Enter the Resistance Front, TRF, a new terror outfit formed in October 2019, just 2 months after Article 370's revocation. TRF was a masterstroke of deception. On the surface, it posed as a local Kashmiri group, fighting for independence, carefully crafted to distance itself from Pakistan. But in reality, it was a front for LET and JEM, run by the same operatives with the same playbook. The goal? Continue the violence in Kashmir while keeping Pakistan's name out of it. Think of it like a company caught in a scandal, rebranding under a new name to keep doing business. Same game, different label. TRF's formation was just the beginning. To make it work, they needed a leader, someone skilled, trusted, and local to Kashmir. They chose Muhammad Abbas Sheikh, a veteran-led operative from Kaima village in Kulgam district. Sheikh had been spreading terror since 1996, a seasoned player in the game. He was named TRF's founder and head, though the real mastermind sat in Pakistan. Alongside him was Sheikh Sajjad Gul, another LET loyalist from Srinagar's Nawab Azhar. Gul, an MBA graduate with a history of arrests, was a key planner. His brother, a former doctor at Maharaja Hari Singh Hospital, now handles terror funding in Gulf countries. Together, they built TRF's network in Kashmir, recruiting from groups like Tehreek Millat Islamiyah, Ghaznavi Hind, Hizbul Mujahideen, and LET. But one name stands out above the rest: Hazem Musa, the mastermind of the Pahalgam attack. Musa wasn't just another terrorist. He was a former SSG Par commando in the Pakistan Army, loaned to LET to execute high-value operations. This wasn't a conspiracy theory. India's National Investigation Agency, NIA, confirmed it, and media outlets like India Today, Times of India, and the New Indian Express have covered it extensively. Musa's involvement raised the stakes. He wasn't some rogue militant. He was a trained soldier, handpicked by Pakistan's military to lead a deadly mission. Now, let's fast forward to 2022. TRF had established a robust network in Kashmir, complete with online propaganda portals and a Telegram channel called TJRF, where they posted videos to recruit young Kashmiris. They targeted non-locals, laborers, traders, anyone from outside the region, to disrupt the growing economy. In Srinagar's Hari Singh High Street Market, just 100 meters from Lal Chowk, they struck first. Then came attacks on Ajay Pandita, Akash Mehra, and migrant workers across Kashmir. Their strategy was clear: act like contract killers, targeting non-locals to scare away tourists and investors. But TRF faced a setback on August 23, 2023. Muhammad Abbas Sheikh, their founder, was playing cricket in Srinagar's Alochi Bagh when Jammu and Kashmir police got a tip-off. In a swift operation, they gunned him down. Within a week, Sheikh Sajjad Gul took over as TRF's head, and the group didn't miss a beat. Meanwhile, Kashmir was changing. Stone pelting incidents, which numbered 1,458 in 2018, dropped to 255 by 2020 and hit zero by 2023 to 24. Tourism boomed, with 8.5 lakh visitors in 2018 growing to 31 lakh in 2023 and 43 lakh in 2024. Investments soared from 296.64 crore in 2019 to 2,153 crore in 2022. New domicile laws allowed outsiders to settle in Kashmir, fueling economic growth. TRF's mission was to sabotage this progress, and they needed a big strike to do it. Enter Operation Sindoor, a series of 9 precise strikes launched by Indian forces in 2025 to dismantle terror networks in Pak. The first strike targeted Sawai Nala camp in Muzaffarabad, where Adil Thoker had trained. Conducted on April 25, 2025, just days after the Pahalgam attack, Operation Sindoor was a direct response to the escalating violence. It aimed to disrupt TRF's infrastructure, targeting training camps, weapon caches, and key operatives. Early reports confirmed successful strikes, with high security measures ensuring minimal civilian impact. Alongside Operation Sindoor, other operations like Operation Rakshak, March 2024, and Operation Sarp Vinash, June 2023, had previously weakened terror networks in Rajouri and Poonch, neutralizing 15 and 22 militants, respectively. These operations set the stage for India's aggressive counterterrorism strategy, but TRF was still a step ahead. In September 2023, Hazem Musa and another Pakistani operative, known only as Ali Bai, infiltrated Kashmir via the Kathua sector. With help from overground workers, OGWs, locals who provide logistical support without wielding weapons, they set up a safe house in Kari Mahur, Basankar. Musa's training was elite. He could survive for days in snow-covered jungles, making him a ghost in the mountains. By October 2024, Adil Thoker, now fully trained, re-entered Kashmir through the Puntrajuri sector, joining Musa and Ali Bai. A fourth operative, possibly named Ehsan, may have accompanied them, though his role remains unconfirmed. These terrorists didn't strike immediately. They carried out smaller attacks, targeting laborers on projects like the Gagangur Zimor Tunnel and Daraki Gali. In December 2024, a breakthrough came when forces killed a TRF operative, Junaid Ahmad Bhatt, in Srinagar's Dakigam. His phone revealed encrypted messages from Pakistan and a photo that would later become critical. The image, initially overlooked, showed Musa and Junaid together. After the Pahalgam attack, tourist descriptions and OGW interrogations confirmed Musa's presence, tying the photo to the crime. The weapons used in Pahalgam were another red flag. American M4 rifles, more advanced than AK-47s, were equipped with night vision devices and cameras. Ballistic analysis of cartridges recovered from the scene traced the M4S to Afghanistan, where the US left $7 billion in weapons during its 2021 withdrawal. These rifles entered the black market, smuggled through Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to Gems Markaz camp in Pak. Drones then delivered them to Kashmir, a tactic used for years to arm terrorists. The plot thickened in August 2024, when Let's Head, Saifullah Kajuri, met Hamas leader Khalid Mashal in Doha, Qatar. Videos of the meeting, shared by Pakistan's Markazi Muslim League, raised eyebrows but were initially dismissed. Then, on February 5, 2025, Hamas leaders made a historic visit to Pak, holding a conference at Rawalakot's Shahid Sabir Stadium. Titled the Kashmir Solidarity and Hamas Operation Al-Aqsa Flood Conference, it saw fiery anti-India rhetoric and discussions on encrypted communication and civilian targeting. The Pahalgam attack, executed in a Hamas-style ambush, bore the hallmarks of this collaboration. Around the same time, an unusual spike in demand for high-resolution satellite images of Pahalgam emerged. Maxar Technologies, a US-based satellite company, reported orders doubling in February 2025, specifically for images with 15 to 30 centimeters resolution, capable of spotting a coffee cup on the ground. These images, typically reserved for approved government agencies like ISRO, were tactical weapons for attack planning. The demand traced back to a Pakistani company, Business System Intelligence Private Ltd, BSI, which had partnered with Maxar in June 2024. BSI's founder, Ubaidullah Sayed, was later convicted in a U.S. court for illegally exporting sensitive tech to Pakistan's Atomic Energy Commission. The implications were chilling. A Pakistani firm with terror ties could access images meant for governments, potentially funneling them to groups like TRF. In March 2025, a bombshell announcement came. Prime Minister Narendra Modi would visit Kashmir on April 19th to inaugurate the Vande Bharat train. Musa, Ali Bai, and Adil, already in Kashmir, went silent. No attacks, no satellite image orders. Intelligence suggests they were planning in Kishtwar's dense forests. Using military-grade Ultra-SAT phones from Huawei's Mate 60 Pro and P60 series. These devices, banned in India, used China's Tiantong-1 satellite network to bypass Indian surveillance. Unlike the Thuraya phones caught during the 2008 Mumbai attacks, Ultra-SATs were untraceable even by Western agencies. The entire March operation was coordinated from Karachi and Muzaffarabad, with every step encrypted and invisible. By early April, TRF finalized their target. Luxury hotels in Zabarwan Valley, frequented by foreign tourists and possibly Modi's delegates. The goal was to cripple Kashmir's tourism-driven economy, a direct attack on its progress. On April 4th, Adil Thoker and OGWs began reconnaissance, avoiding Musa and Ali Bai to minimize exposure. On April 9th, 2 to 3 terrorists armed with M4s entered a local's home in Pahalgam, demanding food, a travel bag, an umbrella, and a phone. They made a WhatsApp call in Urdu, broke the SIM, and asked for directions before vanishing. The resident, Rashpal, reported it to police the next day, triggering heightened security around Dakigam and nearby hotels. Then, Modi's visit was cancelled, citing bad weather. The hotel attack plan was scrapped, possibly due to tightened security or the absence of high-value targets. TRF shifted gears, reconning 4 new locations: Aru Valley, Batab Valley, a local amusement park, and Bizaran Valley. The amusement park was dropped too close to Pahalgam's police station, just 500 meters away. Aru and Batab valleys were also ruled out. Strong road connections and nearby security forces made escape difficult. Bizaran, however, was perfect. No security presence, heavy tourist footfall, no vehicle access, and dense forests for cover. The nearest CRPF base, Delta Company of the 116th Battalion, was 4 to 5 kilometers away, a 30 to 40-minute trek. With no CCTV and only 2 entry-exit gates, Bizaran was a trap waiting to be sprung. On April 21st, news broke that the US Vice President would visit India. TRF saw an opportunity. A high-profile attack during a global leader's visit would amplify their message. They locked in April 22, 2025, for the strike. That night, Musa and Ali Bai emerged from Kokernug's forests, trekking 21 to 22 hours through Kishtwar's rugged terrain to reach Bizaran's jungles. Adil, already in Sri Gubara, joined them. They used the Alpine Quest app, loaded with Maxar's high-resolution images, to navigate offline, evading detection in a way Google Maps could never allow. April 22nd dawned like any other day. At 9 a.m., Bizaran's gates opened, and tourists poured in. By 1:30 p.m., 400 remained, enjoying the meadow's beauty. At 1:45 p.m., the first terrorist, likely Adil Thoker, entered, disguised in a Kashmiri farran. His M4 rifle hidden beneath, he blended into the crowd, moving toward the main entry-exit gate. Suddenly, he pulled out his weapon and fired into the air, herding tourists toward the gate like sheep to a slaughter. As panic spread, 2 more terrorists, Musa and Ali Bai, leaped over the fence from the jungle, clad in military tracksuits. The crowd mistook them for security forces, a fatal error. The trap was set. The terrorists blocked both entry-exit gates, boxing in the tourists. They separated men from women, demanding to know who was Hindu. Those who refused to answer were forced to recite the Kalma. One tourist, Devashish Bhattacharya, complied and was spared. A Christian was questioned about Palestine before being let go. But the Hindu tourists weren't so lucky. At close range, the terrorists opened fire, killing 26. Among them was Adil Hussain, a pony rider who tried to stop the attackers, only to be shot 3 times. The terrorists recorded it all on GoPro cameras, taking selfies with their victims, a sickening trophy of their carnage. For 20 to 25 minutes, chaos reigned. The terrorists grabbed 2 phones from the crowd, jumped the fence, and vanished into the jungle. Screams echoed as survivors begged for help, but none came immediately. At 2:30 p.m., the first call reached Pahalgam's police station. SHO Riaz, stunned, alerted the CRPF's 116th Battalion. Local Pony Owner Association President Rais Ahmad Bhat, informed by Union leader Abdul Wahid, rushed to Baizaran with a handful of volunteers. They arrived before the forces, attempting a desperate rescue. CRPF Commandant Rajesh Kumar and his 25-man team followed, trekking to the site. Helicopters were deployed, and a full-scale rescue began. TRF claimed responsibility, citing India's domicile laws as their motive. The area was sanitized, tourist statements recorded, and sketches drawn. Operation Sindoor's strikes intensified, targeting TRF's POK bases. OGWs were arrested, their homes demolished, but Musa, Ali Bai, and Adil Thoker remained at large. On April 25th, the UN Security Council condemned the attack, but Pakistan and China ensured TRF's name was scrubbed from the statement, blocking efforts to blacklist the group. The search continues. The jungles of Kishtwar still hide secrets, and the ghosts of Baizaran linger. This wasn't just an attack. It was a message, a warning, and a glimpse into a war that's far from over. Stay tuned, because the truth is still out there, waiting to be uncovered.
Call to action.
Like, subscribe, follow, comment, and share to spread this story of courage.